And I think that he will mostly be helpless, but at some critical moment come to the aid of his friend.
Will Moff Gideon be over after this season?
Ooh, will Moff Gideon? No, I don't think so.
He's such an irrelevant villain. Like, you got to give me more.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think he'll be over at the end of this season. Um, he's not. We'll see if he plays a more present role this season than he did last season. He wasn't around too much. One thing that is surprising to me and a little disappointing actually is how many women are showing up in the Empire in different storylines at this time. We got a new one in the comics. That's a big deal. And just generally, the Empire, one of the big differences between the Empire and the Rebellion and the Empire and the Republic and everything was that the Empire didn't want women in its ranks. And so it was a very, misogynistic, bigoted. They didn't like having aliens as officers. That's why, like, Thrawn, one, he was humanoid, so that helped him. But two, he had to be the best, right? And then that's why I was so excited about Phasma with episode 7, because like a woman becoming captain and like being in charge of things, like that was a big deal. But now we're just seeing these women everywhere in the Empire serving in officer roles and everything. I'm like, oh, it makes Phasma less special. I know she's First Order, not Empire, but one begat the other. So I don't know. I didn't really go anywhere with that, but it's something that was on my mind this week, and I was upset about it.
Oh, get it off your chest. This is your time.
Thank you. I feel better now.
Yeah, good. I would just say this: the fact that Harry Bosch was going to take the ship down a few weeks back is still bugging me to this day. Harry Bosch would do that. He would fight to the end. But in all seriousness, I don't. Moff Gideon, his big moment of all the episodes we've seen him is cutting out of the TIE fighter. That's it. With the black saber. That's it.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of troops, he's got a lot of power. Is he a skilled fighter? I mean, if he's got the black saber, I'm assuming so, but I ain't seen him. So there
maybe. I've got questions about his chess piece now though.
Yeah. And so I just I don't know. You got to give me more. Like, if they had an episode devoted to him doing something that had nothing to do with Mando, it was indirectly tied to Mando. It was like, he's over here, he's blowing up a planet, or he's, going Thanos and killing a bunch of villagers or something like that. Like, something to kind of set the tone for, I don't know, like, you get the feeling to get the child. I'll give you this. If you go back to last season, they kind of painted him like he was just waxing his own guys out there in front of Mandalorian. If you remember the scene with the storm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's like, you go. No, you go. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, well, now he's over here killing this guy for interrupting him and this, that, and the other. And it was...
Oh, yeah, that part. Yeah, got it.
It was more comic relief. Like, you didn't really get... Like, even those guys were like, well, I don't want to go. But it wasn't like... They didn't want to go because they didn't want to get whacked, obviously. But they weren't trembling with fear, like, oh my god, he's back at it again, like, oh man, it was more comic relief, like oh, here he goes again. As long as you just kind of avoid him, you're not really in danger.
Have you seen the Star Wars Lego Holiday Special?
No.
Okay. There's a moment where they're making fun of Kylo Ren's temper tantrums. That I think captures it very well. So spoiler alert there. And Ryan likes spoilers, for anyone who doesn't know Ryan.
I do. Please email me all your spoilers for everything.
When choosing between saving her son or her daughter, she saves her son. And for everyone who got that reference as to what choice I'm talking about, a woman having to make, please drop the name of that movie in the comments for Ryan so he gets the context in case he didn't pick up that random reference.
Yes. Well, two of you at this point watching, please be good.
But they're making fun of it because, like, in the sequel trilogy, you do see like Kylo goes on a rampage and people are just like, oh no, like, go to the other hallway,
Mm-hmm.
just like get out of the room.
Right. So
And yeah, you did not see that here.
yeah, and so I'm saying like I don't like as the viewer. Okay, he's got power. He's got stormtroopers. They may or may not hit anybody. So it's like I need to see him kill a planet or two before I'm really like, okay, yeah, he's a because Mando has walked down stormtroopers blasting him. So I need to see something from him that kind of makes me believe that I believe he's willing to go to the lengths to do it, but I don't believe he necessarily has the skill to do it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And because also, like, I feel like this is the Empire's B team. Okay, now that is shaded a bit by like the Heir to the Empire book series, which is all legends and everything. But basically, after the Emperor dies and the Empire gets disbanded and goes into these warlords, it wasn't, it's not Tarkin in control. It's not even Admiral Mahdi in control. These are the people that were like,
Too soon. Too soon.
I'm sorry. But these are like the people in control of like a Star Destroyer and a squadron, like trying to be the tough guy now. And I kind of get that feeling from him, especially with like how, I mean, this Imperial base on Nevarro was a nerd base, right? It's the science lab. But also, how come Mando can take out stormtroopers in like one shot, like bah, 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 while he's flying, taking out moving targets? But he's got two scientists standing still behind a control panel, trying to punch keys, and they're missing them until they have a chance to blow up the control panel and destroy most of the evidence that they're looking for. I guess because you have to progress the storyline, right? Episode 4 would be a lot less exciting if they're like, get them, and then the stormtroopers killed Luke, and then we were just like, okay, he's dead.
Why not have them radio ahead? Hey, we're under attack, and then they smash it, and then by the time they get there, it's already ruined. Like that's simple enough. Because
that would have been better.
Blue guy did in 30 seconds.
Ryan is open to consulting on the Mandalorian project. Just if anybody at Lucasfilm is listening,
and then the blue guy fixed it in 30 seconds. So, I mean, seriously, right?
Yes.
Like, it's broken. Fix it. What? Fix it. Oh, it's fixed. It's like, like this whole scene was nothing.
He did it from the side that didn't get shot. He did it from the side where the dead body laid on top of it instead of the guy shooting it. So
yeah, and I think it's those kind of things that make me wonder. I think Mandalorian season 1 really was I think we talked about this offline, but it was really a reaction against fans not liking 789, and so they just bit hard on Mandalorian. I think if without 789, if this was the first ever Lucasfilm Star Wars product, I think they would be in trouble. I think people would be like, "Oh my gosh, this is what you're doing with Star Wars? You're bringing in Baby Yoda? How dare you? Yoda couldn't do this." Mandalorian, Boba Fett's back. I think people would be pretty outraged because it's pretty sloppy.
They would, but then you have people like, did you watch Parks and Rec?
No.
Okay. So there's one scene where Patton Oswalt's character is filibustering a city council meeting, and he does so by laying out his plot for Star Wars Episode 7, beginning with the rise of Boba Fett from the Pit of Carkoon. And so I do think you have a segment of Star Wars fans that do want that story.
Well,
I think we're getting it. I think we're going to get a Boba Fett story soon.
Yeah, I know the Boba Fett's probably a bad example. People might be okay with that. But generally speaking, Baby Yoda, Mandalorian, Force, I don't think this. I think if this was the first ever Lucasfilm product coming out of the purchase, I do not think it'd be received very well. I think it'd be received. If you remember, Episode 7 was received pretty well by the fans. It wasn't until Episode 8 that things came off the wheels.
Well, it was received, and not trying to gatekeep here, but a movie gets a lot more new fans and fair weather fans and not mediocre fans, but like casual fans. And I've got nothing against somebody being a casual fan. I'm a casual fan of like Harry Potter. Don't love it, but I like it. I'll watch it if it's on. My wife reads the books. I don't mind the audiobooks. But I don't pursue Harry Potter, right? So I have no problem with casual fandom. But it is a whole lot easier to garner casual fans of a movie series than of a TV series.
Uh-huh.
And so I think I think that had Mandalorian been the first post Disney acquisition Lucasfilm market proc to go to market, you would have a lot more long time fans watching the show and a lot fewer newer fans. But I think now you have a very large segment of fandom that are new fans that, don't remember calling their dad at night the first time they saw Star Wars on TV because he had been watching Star Trek and then realized he was wasting his life. And or sitting in a car outside of Phoenix in the middle of the desert watching a drive-in movie replay of Empire Strikes Back. Like, that's not the fan.
That's right.
That's not the majority of fans anymore. Seth Green is no longer the stereotypical Star Wars fan, right?
True. And so I don't think Mandalorian would capture them.
It would not capture the new fans as well as the movie did, but because we had the movies, we now have a bunch of new fans, and the Mandalorian is fully satisfying them. And also, for the record, I like the Mandalorian. I plan on continuing to watch it even after Ryan stops.
I plan on doing this show as long as you'll have me. I'm honored to do the show as a recurring guest, so that's nice.
Yes.
I hope one day to attain to co-host status, but recurring.
You are the co-host.
No, recurring guest. That's what I like.
If that's the credit you want, that's the credit you get.
Okay, I wanted host, but you wouldn't give it to me, so whatever. But no, I have a love-hate relationship with it, really, because I think whenever we talked about this an hour and a half ago, we started all this. The subplot line versus the main line, and trying to weave that together. I think there's a lot of value there. I think the Clone Wars TV show shows you how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
To do it, you have to who's the pirate guy with the hat? I can't think of his name on top of my head right now. He's kind of got the respirator. He's blue. Are
you talking about Cad Bane, the bounty hunter?
Yeah, okay. Bounty hunter. Sorry, bounty hunter. But he teams up with the pirates and all that stuff. But Cad Bane, I like the Cad Bane episodes. And
he was great. I wish they did more with him.
Right. Okay. But he's never in the movies. But he becomes a character that you'd like to see come back, and he's reoccurring. And so because he's one off from the main line, and you understand now how this ties into the main line, does his story impact the main line or not? I can't remember any of the episodes actually impacting the mainline story. But it's close enough where you feel like, okay, this is what's going on on Coruscant or the Jedi Council when we're not watching them in between 2 and 3.
To me, it really makes you question episode 2 a lot more. Like, man, why were the Jedi not already watching Padme? But I guess because Clone Wars happens after episode 2. That makes sense now.
Yes.
Sorry, brain fart. Right. Please continue.
Yes. And so, with this, it's, we're holding the main line at not arm's length, a little bit further than that. And so, but when you bring Ahsoka in, she's not mainline, but she's Clone Wars, and Clone Wars is arm's length from mainline. And so it's like, okay, are we going that direction? I just don't have any direction. And that's for me, and you and someone else have told me just kind of watch it week by week and don't really kind of project on where it's going. It's like, okay, that's fine. But if that's all it is, then I know what it is. It's Mando's going to fight someone. Mando's going to win every week. If that's all it is, then I can record next week's episode with you already. Mando's going to fight someone. Mando's going to win. At least when they stole the child, there is some tension. So, I just don't think it's as well put together, maybe as some of the more prominent fans of the show were saying. And I feel like they're saying that because they're so mad at Kathleen Kennedy. They're so mad at 789. I don't think they know where they're going. I don't think they have it all thought out on this one. And I think that 3 seasons from now, we're like, what are they doing?
Well, I'm not even sure that because The Mandalorian may not be the same Mandalorian the entire series. I know we talked about this offline, but there has been rumor of